Billionaires have never had it so good. To put it lightly, $50 million mansions, monstrous yachts, and ostentatious lifestyles rule the bubble of the top 1%. So just imagine how spoiled their kids must be. Here we bring you a list of 5 billionaire families with some of the biggest divas on Earth.
Oh, thank you, Mom.
Trump family. Look, we have to bring up the most well-known of all billionaire families. It would be weird if we didn't. The patriarch Donald Trump needs no introduction.
Look, I'm really rich.
He's the current president of the United States, and that has allowed his children to achieve power they never dreamt of. His daughter Ivanka is now a major political advisor despite having no expertise, education, or training in the field. But the Trump kids have been known to live ostentatious existences well before the 2016 election. The whole family has the privilege of staying in Trump's many properties, including the infamous Winter White House Mar-a-Lago, estimated at $10 million. Donald Trump's youngest son, Barron, has a $100 million two-floor penthouse all to himself. With a beautiful view of the city skyline, you could almost forget that the rooms look like they're made of gold. In his library is a $15,000 book, GOAT, a tribute to Muhammad Ali. It's hard to imagine why he would need all the glitzy space, but here we are. When he was younger, Barron would even ride around in a mini Mercedes, complete with a custom license plate. All many of us got when we were kids was a plastic Tonka truck. On top of all this, his education at Columbia Grammar and Preparatory School costs a whopping $50,000 a year. Trump's other sons, Don Jr. and Eric, are even more showy. They spend their money hunting big game in Africa. Their excursions go for $50,000 per person, the same price as a year of prep school for Barron. They've shown off photos of shot animals like elephants, water buffalo, leopards, and crocodiles.
Well, they love hunting, and they've always loved hunting. I don't. I've never been a fan of it, no.
The fees to turn each of these creatures into trophies range between $2,000 to $3,000 each. Some of the species are very rare, but when you're born that wealthy, the survival of animal species must not mean so much when you can show off how you spend your money. British royal family. Speaking of royalty, let's turn to some actual princes and princesses. The British royal family is what probably first comes to mind when we think of your typical king and queen. Despite the shift in power in Great Britain over the last century or so, Queen Elizabeth II and the Windsor family still hold a vast fortune that Princes William and Harry could never run out of. For starters, they own several ancient, decadent castles, mansions, and dream houses throughout England. The famous Buckingham Palace is one of them, filled to the brim with servants, butlers, and even musicians that are hired to serenade them when they so desire. While those kids have lived a life of luxury, so are the kids of those kids. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle spent $800,000 in preparations for their newborn this year. That included a $43,000 baby moon for themselves and a $330,000 baby shower in the most expensive hotel in New York. Don't ask us what a baby moon is. As for Prince William and Kate Middleton's kid, George, he is already worth about $4 billion. His sister Charlotte is worth around $3 billion. We imagine this won't spoil them one bit.
I'll see what I can do.
Carter, Jay-Z, Beyonce family. We can safely say that America treats Jay-Z and Beyonce like royalty, if they ever had one. Both are insanely successful musical artists, although Jay-Z has amassed much of his fortune through investments rather than album sales.
I pretty much look for partners, as opposed to one-off endorsement deals. Just invest in things that you understand.
They are a billionaire family unlike the others on this list, as these are pure entertainers. Their daughter, Blue Ivy, is already beginning to show signs of being a spoiled billionaire child, something neither parents experienced when they were growing up. Let's see, we have to address the fact that she has had multiple nannies and stylists since preschool. You heard that right, a preschooler needed a personal stylist. Someone was paid a whole salary to dress a billionaire kid. Did you know her first birthday cost $300,000? And for her second birthday, her parents rented out an entire amusement park just for her to wander around. She can live in her choice of multiple million-dollar mansions located from California to New York. Blue Ivy can relax on the family's $283 million charter yacht. With her mother calling her a cultural icon at 7 years old, it's no shocker that some people have called her spoiled. No pressure.
Hello, I'm Bill Gates, chairman of Microsoft. In this video, you're going to see the future. Let's take a look.
Gates family. Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, reigned for a good couple decades as the richest man in the world. In the early 2000s, Bill Gates pledged to become a philanthropist and give away all of his money. Strangely enough, he is richer today in 2019 than he had ever been nearly 20 years ago. And this wealth only seems to trickle down to his kids. Notably, his daughter Jennifer seems to benefit tremendously from her billionaire father. First off, her family home in Washington state is a huge mansion worth $121 million. Fitting for a tech giant, the Gates estate has all the latest technology with an underwater sound setup, a Tony Stark-esque computer system, and heated floors. Jennifer also has access to a 2,500 square foot gym, a 60-foot swimming pool, a 23-car garage, and a private library with Bill's personal collection. But this wasn't enough. She needed to indulge her hobby of equestrian racing. So the Gates family purchased $37 million worth of land in Florida to build a house just for Jennifer and her horses.
I think when I was 14 or 15, I really realized that I wanted to focus on that and try and compete internationally and become as good as I could.
The house is a 20-stall barn because when you're that rich, why wouldn't you install 20 stalls? Plus, she's even got a jumping arena to practice. The good news is that she's putting the house to good use. You can find Jennifer actively racing horses in competition.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Richard Branson.
Richard Branson family. Owner of the Virgin Empire, Richard Branson became famous for his Playboy antics back in the day, and, well, also today. You can catch him kite surfing with naked models and making cameo appearances in movies like Casino Royale. His kids get to enjoy the fruits of his company's labor. The family lives on Necker Island, in the British Virgin Islands. No big deal, but it happens to be worth $60 million. Of course, it has a beautiful private yacht for his children Sam and Holly to enjoy. They can even dive with an underwater aircraft called the Necker Nymph. These spoiled kids can just use $1 million submersive plane to explore the ocean whenever they feel like it. But how do they spend that money personally? Besides the constant vacations and expensive excursions to get away from their lives on a tropical island, they throw extravagant parties. Sam Branson in particular utilized his dad's fortune to host one of the most luxurious weddings in years. He hosted it on Richard's private game reserve in South Africa and invited both celebrities and royalty alike. For 5 days, Sam celebrated with the likes of Kate Winslet and Brian Cox while asking them to spend $20,000 a night as a guest. Whew! No wonder many called it a near-royal wedding.
Which future do you want? Do you want the future where we become a spacefaring civilization and are in many worlds and are out there among the stars, or one where we are forever confined to Earth? And I say it is the first.
Elon Musk family. Elon, Tony Stark-esque billionaire heir to his own family's fortune. His father was an engineer and owner of an emerald mine in apartheid South Africa. His mother was a famous model. Not to mention, he was a pretty smart kid. Makes sense that he grew up to become a wacky, ego-driven billionaire known for his ambitious ventures into space tourism and Tesla's Cybertrucks.
I'm probably not engaging in a set of actions likely to maximize my lifespan.
His children, Griffin, Xavier, Kai, Saxon, and Damien, may well grow up to be just like Elon someday. For one, the kids grew up in an enormous $17 million estate in Bel Air. Among many, in fact, Elon Musk has a tendency to rapidly buy and sell multi-million-dollar homes, either from boredom or for one of his ex-wives. For their education, Musk really spoiled them by creating his own private learning institution on the campus of SpaceX. It's called Ad Astra, and it's an academy for gifted children aged 8 to 14. If you want your children to join the academy, you're going to have to shell out $31,000 every year for an 8-year-old to learn how to build a flamethrower. Not much more is known about the Musk children, as their lives are being intentionally shrouded in mystery by the family. They are still quite young after all. Regardless, it is only a matter of time before the 5 Musks grow up into little versions of their father. Feel poor? Not to worry, because now you're rich with knowledge. Some would even say, the richest.
I just came from a lunch with Bill Gates and 60 other business leaders who are very successful, who have all agreed to give the majority of their wealth away and not just to leave it to future generations. And I think that's the right thing to do.
Thanks for stopping by to check out our video. If you feel like you've learned something about our current state of economic equality, leave a like and click the subscribe button. We're pumping videos like these out all the time, so if you want to catch all of them, make sure to hit that notification bell as well. Any other billionaire kids out there that spend their inheritance on crazy stuff? Let us know in the comments under the video. Who knows? We might release a part 2 with some of your suggestions. We'll see you soon.